Hi, everyone. Welcome to Final V3.
Fucking Hi, welcome to Final V3, guys. Hi. We're back. Welcome back. Hi.
We were gone. If you saw the YouTube community post or you're on the Patreon, you already know why. Long story short, we didn't have the juice for the podcast because of a lot of shit that we needed to sort out, but we are coming back later. But Patreons paid us money for episodes, which we still are delivering, including now.
Yeah, we're still on a hiatus right now, but we did not want to commit fraud, so we're we're here. You'll notice that the timestamp below does not say 1 hour, and you're likely to think that we're just liars and liars, but this is not so. We're still planning to deliver like 2 hours or more before we jump back off of hiatus, but we've been struggling with a lot of parts of the podcast, and one of the things that we were still trying to figure out was how to like reach people. A podcast isn't very approachable on YouTube for the casual viewer, right? Like, it's kind of a hard sell to come to someone who just doesn't really know what to watch and they're recommended and they see something that's like over an hour long and it's like, great, man, you know? And so, but I mean, like, I started up the second channel a little while ago and found that it was doing a lot better for relatively the same amount of work being put in. And I'm pretty confident that at least part of that is because it's like way more bite-sized, you know? Much, much, much smaller videos, lower commitment for people, you know? It doesn't feel like you're getting an engagement ring for the video you just clicked on.
Yeah.
So we're going to try that here. We're going to experiment with the format, and we want y'all to tell us what you think.
Yeah, it's a balance of figuring out how to break up what we talk about into shorter episodes while also not sacrificing the fun part about Final V3, which is getting to go super in-depth on stuff.
Yeah.
But that might not have to be a trade-off.
I wanted to also just throw this at y'all. Final V3, like, it was predicated originally on the idea that Sam and I are in different creative fields, but there's a lot of overlap that can lead to mutual understanding and hopefully give the listeners something to fucking learn for a change. But it's really been all over the place as we both ran into issues where we couldn't really talk candidly about what we were working on or, you know, whatever else. But the places that we were forced to go in lieu of being able to do the thing we originally designed to do were sometimes really fun. We really enjoy doing the guest episodes. Some of the weird places we went were a ton of fun. It's weird. But at this point, I don't really know what people are here for. So, you know, when you think of this podcast, what are the things about it that you as a listener want more of? What's the pull? Tell us in the comments.
Tell us in the comments.
I'm not engagement baiting. I mean, I am engagement baiting, but I do want to know.
Tell us in the comments, and then we'll ignore it, and we'll do whatever we want instead. But it'll be informed.
And then what you need to do is you need to find the hype button right next to all the other buttons on YouTube, and you need to press it like 4 times.
Watch this. Watch the YouTube UI. Subscribe. See how the button's going fucking crazy.
Mobile users are seething right now because it doesn't work for them.
Maybe
y'all
it does.
Are missing out. Trust me, I'm the YouTube.
Make your customer service complaints in the comments of this video.
Yeah, can you guys bulk report this video to YouTube saying that the subscribe button doesn't light up?
Appreciate it.
So yeah, just let us know what your general thoughts are. We would really appreciate it.
Yeah. Also, someone asked what happened to the shorts thing that we were talking about back in May.
Yeah.
And the answer is they're all still backlogged.
We've got like 7.
We had like a plan to roll them out, and then we went on hiatus, and that's where it's at.
Yeah, and also, you know, paying someone to make shorts is not the same as having someone ready to make more shorts when you start rolling out shorts.
Yeah.
We really nailed that first part where we got shorts, but we don't have an editor for more of them right now. So we gotta figure that part out.
Yeah.
We're not taking submissions. Please don't cold email us with applications for editors. Please. I know it's hard out there, but please don't do that. Sorry, guys.
We're trying to contribute to the problem.
Yeah.
Part of the idea with making the shorts in the first place was to like get a pipeline set up for making more. The idea being that once we turned on that faucet, it wouldn't like dry up and turn off again. And we're still figuring
momentum is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Which is another reason that we wanted to do short form stuff, is because, you know, if we do short form stuff, then we can just release more things in quicker succession, which means we're playing the YouTube game a little better. Maybe for podcast listeners, like if y'all listening on a dedicated podcast, you would prefer maybe that we just like do compilations stitched together ones after a set amount of YouTube uploads, so you're getting the same thing but it's longer form. I don't know. We don't know. We're playing toys. Let us know what you think. Anyway, Q&A.
So this one's is related to a project we both worked on. Greater Seraph asks, Bass Reeves Can't Die was born of a mechanic that was considered strange and experimental in another game. Are there any strange and experimental mechanics that you've personally latched onto that presumably that you would want to like fuck up into its own thing? This is a tough one.
Yeah, it's a really good question, but it's so goddamn specific.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I think that my answer would probably be along the lines of stuff that we've talked about in earlier episodes, right? Like I really just wish that the car genre was a little more explored these days. Mm-hmm. I still think the Most Wanted cop system is really just begging for iteration. But
that's a good one.
I mean, dude, it's so good. It's so good. And we never got anything as good ever again.
If you had to, like, off the dome summarize, what do you mean by the cop system in that game?
Need for Speed Most Wanted cop system it's a game of cat and mouse between you and a theoretically infinite number of police cars, where the game incentivizes you to reach your hand closer and closer to the fire without getting burned. Mm-hmm. It is a very tense risk versus reward system where the more risky you are and the closer you get to getting fucked, the more you stand to gain from it. Parts of that system have been implemented in really interesting ways in later titles, Need for Speed and otherwise, but the core dynamic of Most Wanted is so goddamn good. I'm trying to think of like what makes it so good. Where's that sauce coming from?
Dude, wait. This is a weird pull, but it sounds like you're describing an extraction shooter almost in terms of like the dynamic and the way that tension builds.
Yeah, the difference is that an extraction shooter is one wherever you have a goal that is very explicit and it involves you getting into a lot of trouble and then getting out. Whereas Most Wanted is a lot more gamey, you know? It's not like go here, grab thing, leave. It's more rack up X points and then escape. Now that you've said it, an extraction shooter version of this mechanic sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to literally be a cop system, but a cop system equivalent wherever you have to get in your awesome car and then drive into the center of the evil building and get a payload out without the payload getting destroyed or you getting caught. That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Steam game that got super popular called Hole. That I don't know if you recommended it to me, but it is a single player micro run extraction shooter where you can leave at any time, but the longer that you stay and keep hunting for shit, the higher the potential reward when you do choose to leave. But like, you know, you're the one who's ratcheting up the risk reward, which is you know, kind of the extraction shooter pattern, but they did some fun stuff to scope it down.
The trouble with this is that in order for it to really be iterative, you'd have to scope it up, because like part of why it works so well isn't just because of its mechanical design, but it's because of the way it's presented. Everything is kind of like in perfect harmony to make things feel extremely tense. You know, like there's a ton of the CPU telegraphing what it's thinking and what it's planning to you at all times in very like emotionally charged ways. The music is hyper adaptive in ways that are really impressive for the time in which it came out. Even today, it's still really cool. And like its difficulty is dynamic and affected by other parts of the game design. It's not simple. Like there's a lot of moving pieces in this thing. And yeah, like I said, a lot of the reason that it works is because of the way it's presented. If you detached the cop system from the CSI Miami music and the screaming radios and the whoosh of the helicopter above you, it would not feel half as fun, even though it was mechanically identical. So you would have to find a way to not only iterate on the design, but retain the feeling of tension or recontextualize it in another interesting way that accentuates its mechanical bullshit.
Yeah, I think
and that's hard.
It is hard, but there's definitely games that have pulled off that kind of fuckery. And
Yeah, no,
I'm
for
really
sure.
curious what a car-based extraction shooter
For sure,
would
but
look
not
like.
with this set of mechanics.
Yeah, I'm just curious what a car-based extraction shooter type thing would
Yeah,
look
let's
like.
make one.
If that's what we need right now. More projects.
Yeah, more.
The running theme of Final V3.
What was that guy who made who wrote a 3-page thing about how you need to understand a drivetrain in order to map left and right to the car properly? Like,
we'll get him on it.
Can you run that one back? Can we? Yeah, I'd like you to make BeamNG 2 for us, please, so we can put cops in it.
Oh man! But as for my answer to the question, I'll do a little bit of a left turn. So where my brain goes isn't
like with cars.
A helpful answer to the question. Where my brain goes is thinking about gameplay systems that have been recontextualized and repurposed throughout time. So for example, there's this YouTube video you can find that's like an old GDC talk of Valve describing their dialogue system, where it's not like we made a bunch of graphs of branching dialogue trees, but like we made a bunch of lines and we dumped them in a database and tagged them up with rules for how and when they can trigger.
Right.
And we have like this system that, does some bullshit to figure out.
This is a little technical for the layman.
Fuck you. I will explain how this works. I'm in editing now. I can do whatever I want. So the idea is you take each line of dialogue in the game and you tag it up with the list of facts about the world that have to be true in order for that line to be allowed to be played. Basically describing the situation that line of dialogue belongs in. So if you have a character making a joke about a shotgun, you take that line and you tag it up with the fact the player has to have a shotgun right now. And then you just add as many of those facts as you want to describe a situation as specific as you want. And then you take all those tagged up lines and you dump them into a big bucket. And when you want the game to play a contextually relevant line of dialogue, it looks in the bucket and it finds the most specific line that it's allowed to play right now, whose facts are all true in the game world. And it plays it. There's more details, but that's the gist. And as long as you have a range of the types of situations you're accounting for, like you have some lines of dialogue that are super general and can play almost any time, and you have some lines of dialogue that are super specific and can only play in specific situations, the system will always find something to play. And likely it'll find something that's pretty specific to at least some aspect of the current gameplay situation. This is just great. Was that too technical? Maybe. I'll stop.
That system's super cool because that's how Hades chooses quest lines. When it's generating its world, like it's following the same rule set as
Hades.
Yeah.
Huh. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I found out that Hades generated his quest lines in that way because that's how I was doing it for Space World Organ Trading Simulator.
Oh.
I went back to that talk and just like, instead of lines of dialogue, I had it do a rule-based search for what quests fit a certain game context. And shit like that fucking rocks.
Yeah. Well, hey, Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator out soon.
Yeah, I'm not working on that project, but
you know what? Don't buy it.
You can buy a little bit.
You can kind of buy it.
Yeah, I'm super interested to see how they're handling that. But yeah. Fuck, dude. Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator is Market Crashers. We were talking about this a little bit before, like inspired. It's a spin on the 3DS game Market Crashers.
I'd be shocked if more than 5% of the people listening know anything about Market Crashers. My anecdotal evidence is I don't know what Market Crashers is.
Yeah. Everyone look up Market Crashers. But yeah, it is a weird niche frenetic trading, stock trading game that they have recontextualized to be about betting on baby lives.
You're telling me it didn't succeed financially?
On the DS? I'm pretty sure it did.
Oh.
But not
really
not
impressive.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll get back to you. But yeah, there's a lot of weird systems that keep finding new lives as other things that you wouldn't expect them to be.
Yeah.
Fun part of game development is figuring that out. But yeah, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Okay, this one's just for me, but you can weigh in if you want.
I don't feel like it. You're on your own on this one. I'm gonna take a piss.
Yeah, take the mic with you.
I'll be sure to angle it down into the bowl.
Yeah, great acoustics.
Well, we shouldn't do
Boney
this.
Taka said
we shouldn't do this, but at some point, once we're not on hiatus and
Where's
we
this
have
going?
some leeway to actually do a piss take, no pun intended, I would so love to just have one question where I say that and then actually take the mic with me and we can get Billy to do some Foley effects so that it sounds like I accidentally drop it into the bowl at some point. Just like have that. He can turn it down, but it's still very much there while you earnestly answer the question, and just sort of let that play out.
Yeah.
As like a little side quest throughout the podcast. I feel like that would be really fun.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It really disrespectful to whoever asked the question, but
no. Whoever gets that question where that happens, they win the lottery. They get the piss question. So they get the piss answer.
There we go. But I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of your name. Please come after me for it and be so mean about it. Bonitaka Sadagsana asks, "Hi Sam, with the popularity of devlogs from game dev YouTube,
I don't speak whatever language that is, but I can feel it."
Yeah. Hi Sam, with the popularity of devlogs on game dev YouTube, I find the idea of potentially entering myself into development/scope hell at the hands of an audience my personal worst timeline. True. Do you think doing a post-dev log that combines all the process and reflection into one big giant video could be a valid strategy in this attention economy?
That's a really good question.
It's a really good question.
I hate that my answer is no, not really.
But I've thought about this before, and there are ways to do it. So one of the benefits...
It's better than nothing. We'll say that right out the gate. Like, if it's that or you don't do the attention thing, then, like, yeah, definitely, like, having something is better than not having something.
Yeah, because to be specific, like the big problem with beginning a devlog is that it draws you away from working on things that aren't going to produce visible results for a devlog. So like architectural stuff or system stuff is disincentivized in favor of flashy aesthetic visual thing.
And there are ways around that, right? Like if you do something that's really technical, but you don't have a lot to show for it, then there are ways around that. For instance, you could get more into theory. You'll just have to rely less on visuals and have to explain what you're doing and just accept the technicality of the nature of it. But you're going to interest less people and spend a lot more time like articulating that. And so you're not like, you end up still just wasting more time and you're further disincentivized to go that route as opposed to working on stuff that's just easy to explain visually for a video.
Yeah. What you could do is because the big flaw in doing a post-dev log is that you're reducing the surface area of the attention that you're getting. Instead of giving yourself a shot to get a new audience every week by making another video every week, you're making one and either the video does well or it doesn't. And the people watch it and then they disengage.
I was going to say, I thought it was not going to work for a different reason, which is that it doesn't feel current. You know, like part of the draw of a devlog is that it feels like you're watching something materialize in real time. You kind of vicariously feel like you're part of it as it becomes like something, you know, whereas a post-mortem, it just doesn't feel like you're along for the ride in the same way. Again, there are ways around that, but inherently it's not the same. And so there's less of a draw inherent to that as opposed to a live update.
I think that's also, that's a bonus, but that's less of a big deal than just giving yourself a lot of shots because most devlogs aren't like interactive with the audience.
Yeah, well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that intrinsically, if the game is in development and you see a devlog of an in development game and you choose to follow along with it, it's much more easily for people to, you know, emotionally invest in, you know, wanting to see it come to fruition.
Yeah. I mean, it goes without saying that you should do this in a lead up to launch more than after launch. But yeah, you can do a post dev log, but like chunk it up and release it weekly. Like you can collect with time. Here's mostly what was happening around this month of development and what happened in this month. And like, you know, all the screenshots and videos and clips that you take of your project as it develops. If you're using version control, that's also a really helpful way to like teleport back into earlier parts of your project and capture footage and whatever. Yep. And you can just take the post dev log and break it up into a bunch of pieces that go chronologically through your journey. You could do this as like fucking 5 to 10 whatever minute videos each. And even if you go from your giga shit hour-long post-dev log into like 6-10 minute videos, that's a lot better. And you just release those weekly and then release your game. You're giving yourself a better shot. This isn't the most fun kind of calculus to do when you're thinking about making a game and doing marketing stuff, but
yeah, it fucking sucks that we have to play this game, but you know, we live in the world we live in.
Yeah, and then of course for like other platforms and stuff, there's just like, here's a crazy funny bug and how I fixed it and all this. And all that stuff can be pulled together after the fact if you've left a breadcrumb trail for yourself while you've been developing, and you can go back into earlier parts of projects. But yeah.
Hope this helps.
Absolutely. Good luck. Mudak the Multiplier asks, what is your favorite piece of no mass market appeal art or media? Something that's really good, but would either be entirely too difficult to convince someone to interact with, or is such a niche audience that the number of people who would dislike it outweigh the people who love it by a huge margin. I have an answer for this.
That's a fun question.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, this is tough because most of the things that fit into that criteria are things that I have brute forced my way into finding ways to shine a spotlight on in spite of all of that. Like Desecrators is my go-to example. Maybe Vivid Lope if I ever cover that one. Because those are just like very niche interest video games, you know? Like how many people in the world are really itching for a follow-up to Descent and Aqueducts? Not many. But, you know, I don't think that's exactly what they're asking for. The closest other alternative I could get to would be like Hot Wheels Highway 35. But that is entirely just childhood nostalgia talking. It's a fun story, but
and that is
not
mass market appeal for a different time.
It was. Yeah, it was. Nowadays, it's for nobody except people who watched it when they were young.
Yeah.
But anyway, or I guess an extremely small niche of animation nerds. But yeah. Anyway, what's your better answer?
My answer is a movie. I think it was 2022. It came out, or in the film festival, and it only got distribution more recently. Called Therapy Dogs. I told you about
that.
this.
You keep harassing me about this.
Yeah. We're putting Julian through the media ringer slowly, finally.
Yeah, I'm about to watch the third Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Well, which third? Which episode 6?
Original trilogy third, yeah. Therapy Dogs is not like Star Wars. The basic gist of it is that this guy...
God for that. Glad you clarified, man.
For the people. In Therapy Dogs, basically, in real life, this guy covertly recorded his high school senior year and then retroactively edited it into a semi-narrative feature film and then put it in a film festival. And it is fucking uncomfortable and raw, and this person is presenting themselves and their experiences in a way that isn't focused on aggrandizing themselves or making them look good. If they did something that was like cringy or embarrassing or whatever, that's in the movie because it's really honest.
Oh God.
It's really fucking good. And I have no idea. It's a really hard recommendation. The version of it that I have, that I show people, is a version that I screen recorded off of the film festival website in the original release, which was like slightly altered for the final Blu-ray release because of licensing shit. I've spoken with the director guy now, and I asked him if he wanted me to upload my pirated copy.
That's illegal.
Anywhere, just so that it happened. And he said, like, no, it's got to happen naturally. Someone else has to do it. Like, he doesn't have a problem with people pirating his movie. He just needs it to come from the grassroots. But yeah, it's a piece of art that I still think about a lot. It is very R-rated. It's messy. It's just, it hit. I have no idea how it will continue to hit as time goes on, but I think it's an exceptionally fucking good movie. And then there's another film that I haven't seen yet, but it's one of my favorite trailers I've ever seen. I think it recently got distribution, so I can actually fucking watch it. But trailer for a movie called Starring Jerry as Himself, which is I think I've shown you this. I think I showed it to you like years ago. But it is a filmmaker whose dad self-alleges that he was embroiled in a scheme of like the Chinese Communist Party, because it's a Chinese family, like threatening to come and get him if he doesn't do certain spy shit. And it's a process. And part of the way that they made the movie was by reenacting the stuff that this guy's dad said happened, starring the dad playing himself.
This sounds absurd.
It looks fucking awesome. I have a theory and a guess as to what's going on. I don't want to say it on the podcast in case I'm right.
What are you talking? Whatever. Okay.
Watch the trailer.
Cool.
And The Kid Detective is my last fucking recommendation on this front, which made like $8 when it came out in theaters. That's
not an exaggeration.
I think all of these are Canadian movies. I made a few $1,000s in America total. I think it was pretty brutal, but it's a
an exaggeration. Sorry, listener. He meant it the second time.
Yeah, but it's basically Encyclopedia Brown grows up and no one thinks that the kid detective thing is cute anymore, but he's still like in his 20s, 30s trying to hack it. and then he gets a real murder case, and it fucking rocks. I absolutely love that movie too, and it's probably the most accessible out of the three because it looks like an actual movie that would come out in theaters, as opposed to Slam Dance.
Like it has a cover and it looks like a movie. Like whenever I sought it out and put it on my Plex server, I saw a bunch of promotional materials that made me think that this was like a movie I could watch.
Yeah, as opposed to whatever freak shit is happening over there. Fuck. Hey, listen, if you want to see
enough outsider art, okay? How about we get some insider art for a change?
Yeah, see that new Halo? There's going to be another one. There's going to be another episode coming very soon about the Coke ad that everyone was talking about, where I basically read my manifesto. So look forward to that. I'm going to link all our recommendations in the description, but I forgot to recommend the HTML review. It's a catalog of interactive web art. I really dug I Feel So Much Shame by Jackie Liu, My Digital Horde by Blair Simmons, and Shimmering by Meg Miller and Maria Barden-Jones. But all of them are really good and worth checking out. So again, linking all of them in the show notes. Patreon billing is paused until we're back off hiatus, but I do want to still take time to thank our holdout $14 patrons. Karen McDonald, Caden Rocket, Alex Alonzo, Sir Berg, Out of Ideas for Gimmick username, Step Your Game Up, Brandon P, MFET, Roses and Patterns, Wibbs, Sad Toffee Sucks, Carp, Spicy Nacho, John Purdy, Harrison Oakley, Daxtery, Drew McIntosh, Eek, Chulump the Big Money Wizard, Samuel Danver Platts, OJ McMuffins, Leon Kive, Holly Buxo, Wormy, Lucky the Proto, Combustible Mon, Mark D. Hero, Witty the Entertainer, Tobean, Nessie, and Cosmo. Seriously, thank you. Your support means a ton.